Welcome back to my next video on Hub and Spoke topology on Azure cloud environment. So today we are going to check how we can check the access of the virtual network or the access of the resources that would be deployed in Spoke and in Hub networks. So since as you can see, like we already have deployed three VMs in different VNets. What I will be doing here now, like I will be taking access of this VM from the hub virtual network and will initiate a connectivity towards the spoke VNet resource, okay, that is deployed here. So this will be my first test that I will be executing. Later on I will be initiating a connection request from the hub to the globally peered VNet resource that is deployed somewhere in this subnet, and then we will be checking these requests. Later on, what I will be testing whether this spoke to spoke communication we can achieve or not, or do we have any connectivity between here to here without establishing a peering via hub VNet. Okay, that as already have discussed that we will not be having a communication until we dedicatedly peer a VNet uh, peering between spoke to spoke one. All right, so let's move to the RDP section there where we will be checking the communication between the resources. So here we can see this command prompt we can open. Now first we have to check what is the IP address of this machine that I have taken. For my knowledge, this machine must belong from the hub VNet. We can see here like 10104 is IP of the from hub VNet address spaces. So this machine belongs to hub VNet. Now we can go to the PowerShell section and initiate a traffic TNC for 172.16.1.4. Okay, so this 16.1.4 is an IP address of the resource that is available on spoke 1 VNet. Okay, I was trying incorrect IP address, I guess. So this is the important thing. Like we are trying a correct IP address to connect with the spoke VNets, spoke resources that are deployed in spoke VNets. Let's check what is the IP address of the spoke VM. So here we can see the spoke VM has an IP address 172.16.1.4. All right. So what about the resource that I have taken access? Where is it? 04. So we have to check why it is not accessible, or do we have any problem in it, or what's going on? So we can see like TNC. All right. So the problem is that I had initiated incorrect response, incorrect command from this PowerShell, but the IP address I was executing is correct. Here we go. We can see the TCP connection is in succeeded state. Now, what another command to test connectivity with Spoke 2 VNets. So for Spoke 2 VNets, we have another resource having an IP address of 04 or what? Actually, I have a problem to remember the IP addresses, so that we can check it later on. I guess it will be failed. So let's check the IP address if I am hitting a correct IP address for it or not. All right. So for the spoke to VNet, we must have an IP address for 1.4. Yep, 1.4. It should be accessible. Let's see. Okay, so I executed 0.4, so that was incorrect. So we can use 1.4 and we can see the connectivity is established. So we have checked now, like we have a connectivity between hub to spoke. Now we have to check from spoke to spoke connectivity. What we can do, we can initiate another RDP section inside the same machine. And so, so I have taken access of virtual machine that is available in VM, and here we have to initiate another command for the spoke one. First, we should know what is the IP address of this machine that we can get 16.1.4. Okay, so the 16.1.4 is an IP address of the spoke 1 minutes. What we have to check is connectivity with spoke 2, so we can do it like this hyphen p tt at 9. By default, Azure VM does not allow any ping responses or ping requests from its resource, due to some security reason, so that the hacker or a man in the middle attacker should not aware whether the machine is up and available on this IP address or not. That we have to check the connectivity. So we can see like we are getting false response from this. That is the only reason, like we don't have any connectivity between the we don't have any connectivity between the spoke 1 and the spoke 2. So now let's go to the resource where we can go to the spoke vnet and establish connectivity between the two spokes, so that we can get communication between the spoke to spoke through direct peering. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to just initiate a peering, go to peering, and the from spoke 2 to spoke 1, allow, and then we can give another spoke 1 to spoke 2. Okay, so I know my resource ID that I already have copied, and then we can allow like this and click on add. So as I told you, like it will be creating two peering operation that we can see on the left hand side. Two operation has been succeeded. Now the other one is in updating state. We have to just refresh it and check if it is connected state. Now you can see the status is in connected state. Let's move to the same virtual machine to know if we have connectivity now or not. Okay. So here we can we have to initiate again a command, and now we can see that we have the connectivity because we have just paired two virtual networks with one on one. We now let's come to the one node section. So let's move to the Azure Hub and Spoke topology that we have three virtual network, have one spoke having three resources deployed on, and we have the peering as well. We have found like we had directly created peering between spoke to spoke, and we have found a correct response between the spoke and spoke. But what about in that case if you want to monitor all the traffic, if you want to permit or allow, or you want to put some security? We have a network security group, an SG to apply on that we can use to permit all the resources, resource based inbound and outbound as per your policy. So this is what Haven spoke topology here that we can use it. And if you want to route traffic from the spoke one to hub and to spoke two, we can create and we have to deploy some resource that should be capable to route the traffic, learn the routes from the spoke VNets, and later on we can forward the traffic to the pairing. So we will be discussing the same architecture that I am telling you now in our next video. Till then, grab the knowledge and apply the knowledge.